You are listening to In Response, a legacy podcast. A show where three handsome guys talk about their favorite Magic the Gathering format, Legacy. This show is brought to you by queerness@anycost.com and austrian-legacy.com. You can support the show at patreon.com/response_legacy. And now, lean back and enjoy.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 63, The Magic of Christmas of
In Response,
a legacy podcast.
I'm Philip Klein
I am Daniel.
And I'm Peter Plank.
and we're talking about legacy
Most of the time.
Indeed.
and sometimes about Christmas.
Exactly. In this episode, we want to guide you guys through a nice little warmth of talk. We're sitting here in our nice lights of, how do you call it? It is actually
Adventkranz.
Adventskranz. Yes, it is one of the typical traditions that you do in Austria. At least you have in the time before Christmas, you can light one candle of
For each Sunday before
for
Christmas.
each Sunday before Christmas, 4 weeks before that, and then you have a nice light shining some hope into your
Legacy decks.
legacy decks, into your top decks. And we have a nice beverage also. We have what is called a hot Aperol. Italians, please don't hate on us.
Too late.
Too late. But we just have a nice cozy talk. We talked a lot about what we should talk about today, and I think we have some topics that we can at least talk with you.
Normally we would make here something like a Christmas special episode, but this time we're doing something
Special?
No, I think
Every episode is special. of
yeah,
ours.
but it's rather different. So it's definitely more laid back.
Yeah. So grab yourself a glühwein, a punch, whatever you want.
Or a beer.
Lean back and listen to us talk very, very nice stuff, like always, about legacy. But I think first we have to thank, of course, our patrons, as always. We have Chino, we have Matt Duncan, and we have Moritz.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Exactly. So have you actually made up your plans for Christmas so far?
Well, Peter, you can start.
Yeah, kinda.
Okay.
Will be very stressful 3 days on the 24th, 25th, and 26th with family and stuff, meeting up, eating some stuff, getting fat over the Christmas days. Then I will be on basically teaching young children how to ski for 3 days. Then there is the 31st with a little bit of a party, mostly at night, enjoying the new year. And then I have 2 kids races, hopefully a pre-modern event on the 4th, and a poke event maybe on the 6th. So
A poker event, okay. A poker or okay. Yeah.
Poker. Okay, I thought you meant Pokemon. But
Yeah, me too.
no, Texas Hold'em.
That's a weird Pokemon format.
That's where you hold them. You aren't allowed them to attack your opponent.
Yeah.
you just allow them to get pet all the time.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah.
But for real, yeah. What I'm doing basically the same as every year. It's just a huge feast and 3 days of eating and drinking straight, and then I'll just pass out on my couch and proceed to do simply nothing till the next year, because that's actually the Christmas holidays are my biggest holiday during the year.
You mean
where-
like the the most days off.
Yeah, the most days off, and also pretty much the time where I can really relax and get myself, or not really get myself together, but recharge my batteries for the next year. And actually, they have run out a little bit low now.
Have you? I just wanted to ask you about this. For a lot of people, the Christmas time is actually more stressful than the time during the year. But since you mentioned recharging, is this the case? Can you recharge in the time, or is it?
Yeah, from the 27th onwards, it's
okay.
all recharging.
Okay.
And basically, that's where the vacation then begins.
Where it kicks in.
Yeah, for sure. And then I'll just look forward to playing some Baldur's Gate 3. And
nice.
maybe we'll see us at the pre-modern event that we'll hopefully do on the 4th of January.
Like on our local game store, yeah.
It's actually a shame that we don't play at least some kind of regularly pre-modern, because the format is really fun. Gotta admit.
We had some, we tried to develop something like this, but it was really hard.
I think the problem here is to find the really the right day or the right time for the people.
Yep.
Because Legacy is still our premier format, and pre-modern should just be complementary, and therefore we can't give away our prime time in Friday evening. So it's kind of hard to establish something.
We should implement just an 8th day of the week, which we call just Magic Day or something.
Yeah, something like in Dungeons and Dragons, they don't have 7 day weeks. They have so-called 10 days.
That's nice, yeah.
So every week consists of 10 days. Every month consists of 3 10 days, and it will make things a little bit more smooth.
Yeah, I would say so. That's for sure. But yeah, it's good that you can relax something. For me, it's similar, I would say. As you guys also say, feasting most of the time. But I, for the most part, don't have anything planned, like in particular in between. Other than that, like I don't go skiing all that much, because a lot of people also do skiing in around Austria in this time. Peter, you of course do, as you mentioned. Being in a ski club, you're one of the trainers actually, right?
I'm one of the teachers, and I'm also basically the one of the representatives for skiing, for a third basically of the clubs, skiing clubs in Upper Austria. So yeah, also something that I do in my free time, because I don't know what to do.
Yeah. It is hard to fill up your days. I mean, come on. You only have 7 days, and no, I see it. Very nice. I think everyone enjoys a little bit the time during the year. Magic-wise, it's not so much happening. At least, well, we have one special event coming up. We have a team trios on Friday.
Yeah.
Wow, I totally forgot about this.
Yeah.
Basically, we talked for the last 2 hours or something like that, and then we didn't talk about our team trials.
Yeah. So our shop regularly has 3 kind of formats that are on a weekly basis. It is Modern, Legacy, and Pioneer. And they decided for the Christmas event to host team trios of all of these 3 events. And you can just go and grab and connect to the other members of the Magic players, of the other formats, and then and ideally, of course.
Basically, what we are doing is to really advertise Legacy.
Yeah, this is what we want to do.
Legacy, kissing the Legacy flag.
But this is what we used to do, as always, when we for the Modern events. A lot of people came from Modern to Legacy at our local game store. So we actually grew a lot by this by advertising. So for us, it worked quite a bit. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and the next step is recruiting Pioneer players.
Oh yeah. Although I think this is a pretty big gap.
Yeah, I would agree here if we weren't allowed to have our proxies and if we weren't allowed to have our proxy decks.
Yeah, the one thing that's different between like acquiring Pioneer players to modern players is like now they also have to buy the fetch lands. They've sunken in prices, but it's still a meaningful set of money to spend of a mana base now, because like if you port yourself from modern to legacy, mostly you won't spend a single cent besides the proxies on anything regarding the mana base. Maybe you want to play Wastelands, but most of the time it's like...
Most of the time, the things that you need are Force of Will.
Yeah,
Force of Will, exactly.
Force of Will, Wasteland.
Like the 40 mana, 40 euro mythics or rares that popping up, of course, which are really annoying, of course, also.
But they're already in the modern format, so most of them should have it.
Pretty much.
And there aren't that many old, expensive cards anymore that aren't on the reserved list.
Yeah, because they get reprinted
all the time. And that's actually something that I really like about this new kind of age of printings of WotC, is that they are very generous with the reprint policy. On one hand, actually,
The one thing that I read a lot about reprint policy and stuff like that online in the latter few days, especially because it's hard now for shops to keep up, because the inventory will over time gets to be worth less and less. So it's kind of now common that a lot of shops actually get sold out or get bought up by a bigger one because they can't afford to be sustained by itself. Because the inventory is getting less and less. And one thing that some of the guys mentioned was like, we would really like, especially like promo stuff, like the old bordered versions of the card, the premium foil stuff, to be like, this is now the only printing, and we won't be printing a Supreme art in the next few time or in the next set, because it was like, I think there was a premium foil treatment for the One Ring, which was like worth over 100 euros or something like that. And there was a similar printing in the next set, basically the one where we had the scroll artworks for Orcish Bowmasters, for Felingus and stuff like that. There it got similar printing, and now the old printing is like also down to 60, 70 euro.
Yeah, it's not something, doesn't follow a scheme what you can, I don't know, rely to. So you, and it feels like it's all over the place kind of. And I, for example, have never felt anything like big, sympathy for any promo versions anymore, because any promo that gets printed doesn't feel promo to me anymore, because there's so many different of them. For me, it's just a random version of the same card. I don't care. Whatever.
And foil is now pretty much meaningless. Totally meaningless. It's just highly sought after cards.
Yeah.
They have a high pricing or a high foiling price. Yeah.
Not really anymore. Previously, foil treatments were like ×2, ×3, ×5 the card. Now foil for like highly sought after cards, I would put it at like 15 to 20% markup.
Okay, wow. Yep. I don't like foils. I don't play foils, so I totally missed this.
I like foils in my pre-modern deck.
Oh, okay. Now we're talking. That's a totally different league. That's
Sorry,
totally different sport.
So we are now at least ×5 markup. If you're talking about 7th edition cards, we are like way above that. If you're talking about Urza's Legacy, Urza's Saga stuff.
The 7th edition Duress, for example.
Do you have 7th edition?
I don't have.
You're such a cheapo.
Yeah.
Myself, I had a lot of 7th edition foils back then.
Wow, this was a missed opportunity. Would have been worth so much.
I actually sold them when I got into Legacy, so I'm kind of torn here. Because it helped me fall in love with the format. It helped me fuel my first deck that was Death and Taxes. But yeah, now they would have been worth a huge boatload more.
Yeah, I can
So-
see that. Yeah.
And kind of one thing that we can mention here is like, I've seen a report that cryptocurrencies are currently rebounding. 5 of the top 5 cryptocurrencies are currently all on the way up. Do you know what that means?
Reserveless cards are getting more expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is basically now the time to buy reserveless cards. No financial advice given here.
Yeah.
You made me curious. Maybe I should buy
I mean,
something.
Just a couple of duels, 1 or 2 for Christmas,
Yeah, one.
to give yourself a little gift.
Yeah, maybe one.
I
Yeah.
basically gave myself a...
I need a plateau actually, because I need 2 kind of.
I'm selling a plateau now.
Yeah.
So
we should
can
talk.
get married.
We should talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I want to mention here is like, I bought myself something, a little treatment. A small little ödland.
Wasteland, yeah.
A nice wasteland, yes.
It's a bad land.
A badlands.
Yeah, the German word for wasteland is Einöde. Which,
It is similar.
Yeah, it's
I can see it. Yeah.
No, a foreign black border German for a nice price.
This was ridiculous. Yeah.
I've now looked up the like similar versions of the card.
Yeah.
I think the next one that I would say is better than mine is at 625.
625.
And I bought mine for 375.
No, what?
Yeah. So
It's absolutely ridiculous.
That's insane. That's insane.
Peter showed me the card. It is just. Was it rated poor? Right.
It was rated poor.
Yeah.
Probably
And
has inked
it-
edges or something.
No.
It
what?
looks so nice. It is at least good or excellent actually. So the seller did really lose at least 100 euros
Yeah,
for sure. 100, 150.
Like we say in Austria, die Depperten haben's geliebt.
No, it was like, I looked up the cards. I was in talk with one of the sellers for a Badlands for 370, but it was like really fucked up. And then Play In, it's like a French store, put like 2 for 375. One is like one of my better Badlands, but revised, which is like, yeah, really scrummy on the outside. You see that it's basically darkened up, the white edges and stuff like that. So it's really often played without sleeves. But the other one was like strictly a lot better, and in person it looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, okay.
So yeah, it was my gift for doing well for Eternal Weekend or
Yeah.
for Christmas.
Yeah, now I really want to get myself a duel.
It gets you in the mood. Yeah.
I thought about this on my way here, actually.
To buy a duel?
Yeah, to buy.
Do you want
Which
to have
one?
a Badlands?
To put my 4th.
Erlingers.
I would not recommend to get the 4th Badlands, right?
But it's
Because
a place.
yeah, I know, but
But it's a place.
Do you have
that's the only
plateaus?
argument. But what text
free.
does it open for you?
Nothing.
Do you have a singleton duel that
Nope.
you need a second copy of or something?
No. Everything. I have 2 duels of everything except Plateau, Badlands, and Bayou. These are free offs.
Okay. So quite a lot of duels actually
Yeah.
that you have. So
The next step would be for a 3rd volcanic island or a 3rd underground sea.
yeah,
These would be the next major steps, but
true.
and I have 3 scrublands.
Okay. Yeah. You're actually well equipped, of course.
Yeah, for
That's it,
my shitty non-blue piles, definitely.
Yeah. For myself, it's actually the other way around. I have only 2 offs for the non-blue ones, but for the blue ones, I have everything as a 3 off or 4 off.
And just 1 plateau.
And just 1 plateau. I have 1 scrubland, 1 savanna, and 1 plateau.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah. But I need a second plateau. That's for sure.
You need a second
more
plateau.
scrublands.
Well, for what do I need 3 scrublands? For your piles, okay.
For my
Philip
piles,
piles.
yeah.
But
Philip, have you tried not playing black in your piles?
No.
that's not an option.
Try
not an
something
option.
like only Boros for your list.
I've tried it.
Boros Painter. Yeah, it was a version some time ago, right? Actually, not that long ago. When this card was bad.
when Discord was bad in June when I was playing the. Yeah, I mean I had black in it, but it was just for
prismatic ending.
Ending, yeah.
Yeah, and if it was surgical or something, or
a cyber plague engineer.
Yeah.
And that was basically it, and everything else was straight up Boros.
And this was one of the better versions, besides the one with story time. Basically, this was the best one, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
When Bowmasters came back in and some,
Yeah, the version that I have now is probably the best one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and when you can speak of a good version of a good deck, that's a little bit.
However, you can define it, but it's really nice, yeah, definitely.
That was just something I totally forgot it.
Is something related to the duels? Because otherwise, I would suggest to switch to the one of the topics that we have.
Sounds nice. I will. I will think about it a little bit.
Okay, maybe. Just interrupt us and that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we want to talk about a little bit on the latest, biggest event, let's say, that's happening a couple of days ago. Eternal Weekend North America, Pittsburgh, I think it was, and hosted by Card Titan, or I think
it's Eternal Weekend NA is like hosted by Card Titan for a few years now.
Yep.
They've done basically the legacy and vintage Eternal Weekends. One thing that I heard about is like they did Eternal Weekend like always for a 3-day event, and this one was actually a 4-day event. Which could be something that JK Entertainment for Europe can change up to, because there was like the issue with top 8 of Legacy, top 8 of Vintage, because like one guy for the Legacy event scooped in the 10th round to a friend of his he was paired into because he really wanted to play Vintage on the next day. And he said like, my deck is worse than the top 8, please play the top 8, maybe the split. I don't know the exact story, but he at least top 8 at Vintage on the next day, so everything was fine, but they had to basically give all the Legacy top 8 guys a buy for Vintage in the first round because like of the pairings issue. It was like...
That's a mess.
Play Vintage Legacy top 8, then Vintage top 8, or the other way around on a separate day with some side events.
Nice, yeah.
Will be better for the event in the future. But I think we dive a little bit into the top 8 competitors.
Yeah.
We've seen some familiar faces, I would say. We have Brian Cook on the Epic Storm.
This is a surprise to me. Usually, I wouldn't have put Brian on Storm.
You wouldn't put Brian?
Yeah, this was a joke, of course.
Okay. I mean, he basically went top 2 or top 4. Or won even a challenge back in the days with like 4 Kalur or something like that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Or Band Miracles. Yeah, because like everyone mulliganed to a Force of Will down to 4 or 5 cards.
He also won a challenge with Rakdelva.
Or was it the event with Rakdelva?
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, that was the time where everyone at the Mother played 4 Veil of Summer. And because of this, a lot of mind break traps or something like that. I get confused here, but I totally can recall it. It was Rakdelva.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I think it's one of his standard lists. It's full on Besiege at the moment, and Besiege in the traditional the Epic Storm shell, I would say.
Then we have
got to take a look what Besieges are worth now.
Around 2025.
Magic investments.
One thing, we have Nick Eldering Ferreira on 4-color aggro.
That's for sure.
That's Delver, basically.
It's
but Delver less Delver.
It's Burg Delver with Orcish Bowmasters, Questing Druids, Murktides. They have 2 tropical islands to support the front half of Questing Druid with
Well, it's basically Grixis, right? But you just can cast the Questing Druid
Exactly.
as option. That's the only green card. That's the similar idea that Jujubin was doing with his Rug deck, which is actually just blue-red and just the splash for the Druid as an option.
But he only plays one tropical island.
Yeah.
And this one is actually playing 2 drops.
Yeah.
So Questing Druid should be more of a focus of the deck.
You're correct. Although this is of course only I think a 3-off in this 4-color version, and I actually have not seen this card in action. Oh, it's a 4. Sorry. Okay. I haven't seen this card so much in action myself. I don't know how much you actually get to cast the Druid. How often is
The
it actually
Druid was
relevant?
cast a lot against me from Jujubin. I mean, he basically, I think in both games, in total, he casts the Seek the Beasts 3 times and casts the Druid twice or thrice.
But I really like this card because it's like on the surface level it's red. So you it's not that card if you're screwed in mana, then you don't have a trap or something. So you can just get your value. You get your 2 cards, and optionally you can also deploy the threat.
Late in the game when you aren't mana screwed. So basically they fix themselves.
Yeah. It is nice as a card, and it seems fair, good, not overpowered. Of course, it's a good option, and
it's a better Reckless Impulse.
Yeah, absolutely, that's for sure.
And Reckless Impulse was already on the verge of being playable
after Expressive,
After Expressive ban, And what I really like about Questing Druid is, I hope that someone brews up a Chunt version.
Oh, it would be nice,
Chandler with Questing Druid, Bowmaster. Baubles or something. I mean, what can this version do better than Delver? Probably nothing besides style.
Yeah, one thing is like I think there was one guy with 5-0 or even 6-0 at Eternal Weekend with Chunt.
With Chunt.
Yeah, shortly I think. Yeah, for a short amount of time, but it fell off.
Yeah,
in the last couple of rounds.
Then for the additional top 8 competitors, we have Jack Kitchen on Strawberry Shortcake.
What year is it? What?
Should we go a little bit into the differences between
you are
Painter
a
or a Strawberry Shortcake? Because like previously, always it got sold, Strawberry Shortcake, this is red, white Painter. But
which is actually Painter also right now.
Which is currently the quote-unquote normal pile of Painter.
What is it?
It's the same. It's insert Spider-Man meme here.
Corporate wants to see what the difference is. It's the same.
We have Mr. Fringe also in the top 8 with the
Painter.
Fable Painter list. So I'm just opening up the Strawberry Shortcake list. One of the key differences that we can spot here is the missing of a specific enchantment.
Fable.
Strawberry Shortcake does not play Fable of the Mirror Breaker. It plays Imperial Recruiter in the slot. It also plays way more fast mana. In this case, 3 Seaman Spirit Guide and 2 Lotus Petals, so it's like 1 up with an additional Lines of Diamond. It also plays 2 Enlightened Tutors. So you are way more set up to get to your combo pieces. Also with 3 Grindstone and 4 Painter, you have like 1 additional combo piece. Where with 2 Counter Great Creator to get the 4th Grindstone out of the sideboard. So this version of Painter is way, way faster. It loses more in the end game, but has more fast mana, has more access to both of those combo pieces with Recruiter for the Painter,
Tutor.
With Enlightened Tutor for the Painter and for the Grindstone with the Saga and stuff like that. So it's like a really, really sweet, different list. And it basically came out of the old days of Strawberry Shortcake when it still played the one tiny thing that can screw your top of the deck and draw your cards. And was insane with Goblin Welder.
Senses Divining Top.
Senses Divining Top.
Yeah, the ban really screwed over a lot of decks.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
It looks just a more combo-oriented deck, yeah.
Yeah, it's just way faster. Then we have Jay Wojciechowski, who lost in the finals with Grixis Delva, Caslin with Cradle Control, and Watt Gibson on Cephalid Breakfast.
Very nice.
And the winner of the top 8, TK Strachen on Beanstalk Control.
Yeah.
With Triumph of Saint Catherine. Oh my god.
That is true.
I knew it. I was hyped. Back then in the episode, I said Triumph is just bonkers.
Yeah, I had the same impression also. This tournament was a great showing for Catherine for sure.
And like we said before, I think it was last year when we had this episode in the winter or something.
Yeah.
And we all said people haven't found the right gel for it to be played in.
Mm-hmm.
And actually what happened is that the right card wasn't printed yet, which is Up the Beanstalk.
The Beanstalk, yeah, pairs very nicely.
And Up the Beanstalk with the Triumph of Saint Catherine is so insane.
There's a lot of good things that pair with Up the Beanstalk. Forces, obviously, bindings, typical cards that got paired with this card. Triumph and Murktide Regent action.
And Lauren revealed.
Lauren revealed this
Terminus.
option, yeah.
Terminus, yeah.
Terminus
that's
is
true.
also, yeah. Although I tried this deck last Friday at our FNM.
Okay.
I thought to myself when I had a look at this list, there's a lot of creatures that you play yourself. I find this Terminus can be somewhat of a nombo sometimes. If you have, you play a lot of cards that are going onto the board yourself. I, for example, tried it and put the Terminus in the sideboard just to have it for specific matchups for that reason. And I wanted to tackle combo a little bit more, so I put in like a Spell Pierce instead of that. It's just one way how you can do it.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about Control, because you can always shape it to your meta game.
Exactly, yeah. I have to say, I suck at Control. So everything that I say, please take it with a grain of salt. And I can say I went solid 1 and 3. It is okay. Sometimes I have to say, I think it's too many creatures somehow. Because it doesn't really feel like a control deck, because sometimes you draw a couple of Catherines, Bowmasters, and Murktides, but I want to have my swords, my forces to control the opponent. And sometimes you don't draw your the other way around. You draw too many controlling elements when you actually need to be an aggro kind of gamer and need to close up your opponent. I don't know. I'm not sure if this deck is like the best version of it. Could be tweaked, I would say. But it didn't feel bad, to be honest. It felt alright.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not a good control player, so could be to me, but it's okay.
Actually, what I, for myself, don't like about this list, and Peter will get shocked here right now, is the Bowmasters.
I thought you will say
great.
that the
They're
list
great,
isn't
yeah,
playing
yeah.
plateau.
You have to.
Yeah, plateau.
The Bowmasters, I think you have to. I would personally, I would maybe try to reduce the Murktides and put down 2, for example. Have
Maybe another
more.
dress down.
Whatever, yeah, whatever you need.
I like 2 dress downs against all the saga piles.
One thing that I think I can say is like the list has a similar origin to the new Pokemoki piles, which are currently back tempo.
Yeah.
Plays a similar suite. I mean, the removal is different because this one plays now Terminus, Swords, and Leyland Binding. But plays another removal suite, plays a lot of cheeky, sweet tech cards in those places. And yeah, I think like both of those decks have similar strengths.
Oh.
This one is a little bit worse in the mana base, which can definitely lead to like getting screwed off by Wastelands and stuff like that. And I think you can say that the mana base is incredibly greedy.
Oh yeah, it's also a
plays-
60 card deck.
It's a 60 card deck, 4 color, and it plays 2 basics. It plays an island and a plains.
Yeah. But on the other side, you don't see Wastelands, which these decks can also play sometimes, like one or two of Wasteland. So at least this is, and for the mana wise, if no freaking Marcus was involved, I felt fine, even through Wasteland. But it was only a couple of games.
There it comes like with a lot of practice, especially against Margus. It's like a little sub game of Magic that you do if you're playing a Magus of the Moon deck versus something like a Beanstalk deck. It's like always like going around places, trying to be able to deploy Magus where like the fetch lands aren't currently available and there's like only one basic and stuff like that. And now with an island and the plains, you have to be careful because it's like a big hindrance when you fetch for them because the mana gets much worse for you to play with. But it gives you so much sustainability if like a Magus or a Blood Moon gets dropped. And especially with the plains, you have now the outs to both a Magus and the Blood Moon.
Because Leyline Binding is just a very powerful card.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you still have to cast it for 5 mana.
6.
5 because you have for 4 because you have a plains and a mountain.
True, you're right.
And maybe an island.
Or
ideally, but because for mana it's okay. And this is also one thing. This deck can only cast Binding for 2 mana and not for 1. Some guys would put in like a Triumph that also has red mana, but this one hasn't. This deck. But I think this is actually fine. It is fine. You don't have to be, because this Triumph is, I often feel it's so greedy. Like if you see from the sideboards, you don't really need Pyroblast anymore. It is really on the downswing. Pyroblast is not so potent in this current format. Hydroblast is, on the other hand, better. I would argue.
Definitely.
Yeah. And for that reason, I think it's fine if you have Leyline Binding only casting for 2 mana, and then you have a more stable mana base for that reason. So
yeah, I mean, Pyroblast is for me on an all-time low. I'm currently on 3 Pyroblasts in Painter.
That's insane.
It's like me with Tobias. We talked a lot over the last week on how to address Painter and how to switch up stuff, and we came to the conclusion, which was I feeling after Eternal Weekend, is like Pyroblasts are really, really shitty currently. What do you think about Prismatic Ending? And we are now currently on 4 Swords, 2 Prismatic Ending, and 3 Pyroblasts, and it feels much better because like the Prismatic Ending are, you can play them versus control. It gets rid of an Urid, can get rid of a Beanstalk if you're going for the grindy way. Against like green-white depths, you can kill Knight of the Reliquary in 6 ways now. It's insane. And Painter having it out and Pyroblasting something against like open white mana is like, I hope they don't screw me because like a Swords is now incredibly awkward. So yeah, Prismatic Ending over Pyroblasts, and if Painter reduces the blast to a lot of lists on and on 4 and did the aggressive way and putting out down to 3, it could be a sign.
Absolutely, yeah.
So the reign of blue is over.
No, not really blue, I would say, because Brainstorm Ponder Force is still one of the most best broken things in Legacy. It's a given.
No, the shell is there. The win condition switched up to not be impacted by the cards that kill the shell.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true. Besides Murktide.
Besides Murktide. Because now you're playing a Triumph of St. Canfrine instead of a Chase the Mind Sculptor.
Yeah.
Now you're playing a Minskimpu in case of a Counterbalance or a Chase the Mind Sculptor. So
I think mostly to Bowmaster, it was shifting in that direction. Bowmaster and then the Druid, maybe.
Yeah. And what do you think about this shift? Do you think it's healthy? Or?
Yeah. I think for me, I don't see it like, I don't have a problem in this kind of shifts, because the format as a whole is really healthy in my views. This is my the main point behind my opinion of this. This is just a normal metagame shift, and this is a time where, okay, I don't play Parablast anymore. It's fine. I can play Prismatic Ending or like Swords, this adaptation of Swords that was a while ago from Painter. Also something that is just, metagame shifts, a new card is printed, everything is still fine, but I need to adjust.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's not that, everybody has to, for me, I don't think it's bad if Parablast is not so good anymore at the moment. It will be back again in, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we can all agree here that this metagame that we have right now is probably one of the best and one of the healthiest that we had in the last couple of years, because we went through a lot of shit with Lurrus, Expressive Iteration, Ragavan, Underworld Breach, and not even the big Boogie Mim Besiege the Mirror was really that impactful.
It boosted Storm archetypes a little bit.
Yeah, but they needed help. I think they could still need some more help. Yeah, I think so too, yeah.
But it is playable.
And also I think graveyard decks would need also a little bit more help besides Reanimator, because when's the last time Dredge got something to play with? I mean,
for Endurance.
Endurance is... it's
even though it's not existing.
Yeah, it's not existing, but there's so much incidental graveyard hate right now. And
the problem I see with printing some cards that are really good in something like Dredge or graveyard-oriented strategies is like, what are cards that they wish for? It's basically something that would prevent your opponent to do something against you. Because like you have all the tools to do something really broken stuff. The one thing that you're missing is basically something, that stops the opponent to interact with your graveyard. Something like Lane of Sanctity does, or like the Silent Gravestone does.
Not so often also. So it's
really difficult to print a card that would be healthy for any kind of Magic
without being overpowered. Yeah, that's true. And without being played in Reanimator. Because Reanimator is basically the only real graveyard deck that's been left.
And I think this is the point that you're just mentioning. Because of this, that a lot of different decks get, free graveyard hate. It's on this card, and I need to respect this card from this deck, and everybody has graveyard hate, and more graveyard hate gets printed in whatever form that a really 100% dedicated graveyard deck cannot survive anymore, and every graveyard deck has to have a plan B.
Yeah.
At this point, you cannot just play like Reanimator Dredge, which is full on graveyard. You have to have a really strong game plan to play around graveyard hate, but I think this is getting to a point where this is close to impossible, or getting closer to it, or you have a plan B, like, I don't know. For example,
like Show and Tell with...
Show and Tell, or if I think of Breakfast, for example, they have
Saga plans and everything.
Yeah, something like this. So you have to have this, or 100% graveyard. I think in the long run,
it won't work out. Yeah, it's like you hope that you went on as it was like on previous timestamps where you played like Dredge, Hogak, and stuff like that. Hogak not so much, but Dredge for sure. It was like, you will stomp game 1, and on game 2 or game 3, you hope that your opponent's
game,
a graveyard hit fails, and if
or
it goes,
you have the anti-hate,
or you have the anti-hate, So it was like the sub game if you draw the right cards. I mean, it's now even worse because we have in the times where those decks were really good. Do you remember the Mulligan rule? It was the old Mulligan rule.
Which one?
It was the
Paris.
Paris was.
Mm-hmm.
And now we are in the
London Mulligan.
London, yeah.
No, it was the Vancouver Mulligan.
Vancouver was also, yeah.
Vancouver, yeah.
It was the one where you draw one card less and scry if you are on less than 7 cards.
Yeah.
And this one was the Mulligan rule when the last time Dredge and decks like that were great.
Yeah, that's true. And people were fearing that graveyard decks would overpower the format because they find the perfect 7 more often.
Oh,
but
That's perfect 5.
the perfect 5 more often. And
or in my case, the perfect 2.
yeah,
What's the perfect 2? Leyland.
Just wanted to make a joke about my mulligan luck, but
Joke on you, you don't mulligan the ball.
always keep the trashiest 7. Okay.
but yeah, so I also have to change my ways and have to find new decks to play with.
Painter.
Actually, I really
Burn.
like this the beanstalk control or decks with beanstalk, and I was so hyped about this blue green deck, beanstalk deck that I played, and it was just so fun. I think this is something that can be improved. The raw shell is certainly not that great, but it was really fun.
Can we make a deal, Phil?
Tell me.
You will stick to this deck, to this archetype for a year and try your best how to improve it. Because
But
like
there
I
you learn
think
a lot,
one
yeah.
of the things that you miss a little bit in your skill set is
Sticking to
cantrip
a deck.
control.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely.
Because
I'm
you are
really bad brainstorm player.
Yeah, because you played like for such a long deck, graveyard-oriented
Yes.
strategies, and now the
Yeah.
mid-range piles and stuff like that. I want you to stick to a deck, try your best.
With blue, I know.
isn't there like, is it called Dunning-Kruger
The
effect? or something?
Dunning-Kruger, but I know that I'm shit. That's a difference.
No. But for brainstorm, it's like at the beginning we are really bad. You do end of turn brainstorm. Then in
Yeah.
the middle, when you start to understand brainstorm, you go brainstorm fetch. And then when you're really good, you go end of turn brainstorm.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes it's like, I just need now exactly this card and
Yeah.
this amount of mana for the next turn. It's like all planning and luck. No, but the thing is like, it's also for me, when you start to play a deck for a long time, you get better and better and better with it. You understand some stuff, because I know for myself, I'm really shitty with brainstorm.
Yeah.
I can't mulligan with blue cards because I don't know what the ponder or brainstorm means for my hand.
And you don't know what you want to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here just there are two things to ask yourself: is who's the beatdown? That's
true.
the first one, always right, and then the second one, of course, what is your game plan?
Yeah.
What is your game plan? Which is based on the answer of who's the beatdown, and
Yeah.
there you should get the answer of what your ponder or brainstorm should be doing.
Yeah.
Usually, but it's very hard. It's very hard.
And the
It's
next
not so
thing
easy,
is
yeah?
like with those cards, your game plan is fluctuating regarding which cards are on top of your deck.
Yeah. And that makes it even more hard.
Depends. You don't have to keep them. With ponder, you can shuffle.
Yeah, but
For brainstorm, you not, of course, but
if I think like I get an answer for the ponder, then
you're
I'm the
digging for
control
the
player.
answer. You're digging for
I'm
the
digging
answer.
for it.
If
What
you
if I
don't find-
don't dig an answer?
Then you have to evaluate. Can I work with these 3 cards, or should I just shuffle?
I keep 7 cards or 6 cards. I have a game plan. I know what I want to do up until turn 4. Then I draw
think-
1 card a
I
turn.
think this is actually a good point, Peter. When you have your ponder in hand and you're thinking of how you cast the card, don't think of what if I don't find what I'm looking for.
No,
This is
I'm-
at the first.
I'm always
stage
like,
not-
I want
not
this
relevant.
card to be this card. But those cards won't get this card for me.
I would also not say I want this card to be this card, but I would more get one step back. I would say this should be a counter spell, or this should be a removal spell, or this should be a threat.
Yeah. I mean,
You know-
I want this card to be like one of those cards
Yeah,
that can
exactly.
deal with this threat, or
Exactly.
that can evaluate
Exactly.
my game plan further for the next
That's the
turn.
idea. Yeah.
I want to hit a land, for example.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. For myself, a ponder or a brainstorm
Land,
is more.
land, come on.
That's basically a land. And then I just whiff, and it's like, fuck my life.
Always keeping one landers.
No, basically, more like keeping 2 landers and then get screwed up.
Yeah, that's bad. But it happens. It happens also. Yeah.
So
But it
I
was
can,
nice.
I can surely try. I mean, I can stick to an archetype. You know, I played Phoenix for a long time. I played 6 years Death in Texas and 3 years That Guy Ale.
And then you played 1 year Hogak. Now
1 year Dredge, 1 year Hogak.
And now it's like
1 or 2 years
a
Phoenix.
shapeshifter.
Wait, what? The shapeshifter?
You're now a shapeshifter.
Yeah, because my favorite decks are really
Good.
good anymore. Yeah, they were good, but aren't now.
Yeah.
And I simply can't go back to playing Death in Texas. Drawing cards is just too good, even if it's just faithless looting.
Yeah, true.
Don't play Reanimator. It had 45% win percentage.
No, Phoenix.
Yeah. I played Reanimator and it just felt so bad. It's just not a good deck in my opinion. Sure, if you're dedicated Reanimator player, you crush everyone,
Yeah.
but
it could be a nice New Year's resolution for yourself to just
play Reanimator. No,
play
thank you.
No, don't play Reanimator.
Okay, that one's pretty easy. So New Year's resolution: so play more Brainstorms, play more Ponders, play less Reanimate.
You can play, like, make a New Year's resolution to play every big event the same deck.
Could be
Every event the same deck.
every event.
Also good. Would be even better. So
Like-
you're prepared for the big events.
Like every FNM, every tournament we travel to.
Well,
Could be.
that sounds like a plan. I think we can all agree to do this.
I will make it with Mississippi.
Oh my
no,
god, come
fuck
on.
no.
You will
Come
have
on.
no fun.
No, I will play
Now,
Painter.
this deck is so utterly bullshit.
It's so bad, yeah.
It's not even funny anymore.
No.
I mean, I like bullshit decks like Upsal spells or I don't know. There are a lot of decks that I find funny, but this pile is just dumb.
It's done, yeah.
It's really sweet. I really
No,
love
it's not.
stacking triggers. You know my back days.
You would have loved playing Nor
Yeah,
in the
just play
Rary.
Flusterstorm, come on.
Yeah, then you have a lot of triggers.
Or Storm.
Yeah, you know, Flusterstorm isn't really that great against Mississippi River.
Yeah, I assume so, but who cares?
Mind Break Trap seems great.
No, because it doesn't exile abilities.
Teferi seems great.
Teferi is great.
That's first game over, yes.
You still play 6/6s for 6. No, I will play Painter. It's like
Yes,
like
you have
my
found your deck
best
at the
year.
moment, yes.
It's insane. I love the archetype. The deck is just insane. I've basically played for the last half a year. I've played in not really that many events. The events were Bologna for Seasons for 7-2. Eternal Weekend for 7-3, and now 2 FNMs for 4-0.
Yeah.
It's like those are my last 4 events I played the deck. It's
With that regard, for me it must be Breakfast actually, because I had the best results with it also last year.
yeah.
But
The thing is, you
difficult.
kind of want to switch a little bit into Storm.
I
Find your
kinda-
old ways.
I find
Yeah, Storm is also always an option for me because it always feels so tempting.
for me too.
Yeah.
Do you want to try the new Epic Storm versions?
Epic Storm is a deck. It's really funny. I picked it up like 5 times in my Magic life.
And it was always completely different.
I was always so, I don't know, destroyed by everybody. Every time this was like fate telling me you should not touch this deck. Every time. The first time that I try it, it is, in our FNM, in our community who plays Storm, basically nobody.
Andreas.
Andreas
basically.
maybe, yeah. I pick up Tess like after one I don't know, after any period of time. First round, first match, I was paired against the mirror.
Yeah, this happens all the time. I don't know, it's Murphy's Law or something like that. It's the same for my things. Like when I play, I'm sorry, but I have to tell this now.
Yeah.
When I picked up Dredge after a hiatus of, I don't know, a year or 1.5 years, and people were shaving their graveyard hay down to one surgical.
Yeah.
That was, I don't know, I think it was Ragavan, Blue-Red Delver, or some kind of that, some kind of era. And then I think, let's just have some fun with Dredge. Graveyard Hay is on a low, and game one, round one, game one. My opponent was on Madness. I totally destroy him. Round one, okay, and then in comes Leyline. Okay, I scoop it up.
Yeah.
Then he goes in game 3, Leyline.
Yeah.
And I Force of Vigor both of them.
Yeah.
Then proceed to Dredge and get hit with Fairy Macabre. And afterwards he tells me, he didn't have enough things in his sideboard, so he just put 4 Fairy Macabre for later of the void in it.
This is what is going on.
Yeah. It's just fate telling me don't play Graveyard Day.
Yeah.
No, one thing I can say about TES, it's like I've watched basically a lot or all of videos from Brian Cook, and it's really interesting how he proceeds the deck.
Yeah.
And because it's like so different to playing ANT in the old days of Legacy to the days where Rodrigo Togorish basically won GPs and stuff like that. It's like a very, very different deck. Yes. Now you're a little bit more, I want to punch you into your face, and if you doesn't duck, you get hit into your face and then I win. So it's like always pulling the punches and see how your opponent reacts. And if it doesn't react, he's dead.
I also like the thought thesis and more interaction and having
the grindy
element.
Play style,
grindy, let's put it that way. Yeah, I'm also very much into ants and tests. So, but yeah, could be a nice option for the.
But one thing is like, I think you kind of have to book now a tutoring session or something like that with him after like playing 1 or 2 events. So
with
Brian?
Okay,
because I think those guys can give you like the small thing that you need to blink, that you are now onto the right path to play the deck.
This is a lot of value for sure for any people or anybody who wants to pick up this deck, for sure.
I think we all have our little magical New Year's resolutions here.
Yeah.
We will put a question in the show notes. So if you have your own New Year's resolutions regarding Magic the Gathering, please write them in so for us that we can talk about it.
Absolutely. I think if you guys agree, I would say this also wraps up the episode pretty nicely.
For sure.
Definitely.
So if you like what we are doing, consider following us on social media. It's at @response_legacy. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and soon to be on Threads.
And OnlyFans.
This is always in the.
It's www.onlyfans.com/response_legacy.
I'm not just joking. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter. It's @FinnickMTG, PHINEKMTG. Where can we find you, Peter, on social media?
You can find me on Twitter. It's @UnicornLord, but the O in the Lord is a 0. Where can we find you, Insectable Aberration, Daniel?
Absolutely. You can find me on any Delver that doesn't flip. And also on X. Twitter. Under @FlyingDelver as always. Sometimes Insectile Aberration.
Insectile Aberration.
Insectile Aberration, thank you. But yeah, I think Happy Christmas, of course, to everybody. Happy New Year.
Enjoy your holidays.
Enjoy your holidays.
And tune in on the 24th.
Yeah.
In response, maybe in the next episode. The end.
This was In Response, a Legacy podcast. If you enjoyed the ride, feel free to support the show by following, leaving a review, or subscribe on patreon.com/response_legacy.